WWE has officially confirmed the start time for WWE NXT's The Great American Bash, seemingly confirming it will indeed be going head-to-head with AEW All In Texas at Globe Life Field. Let you know all the details on that. Plus, speaking of possible counter-programming, WWE NXT reportedly is planned for the 2300 Arena just 1 week before AEW will have a residency in the former ECW Arena as well. Let you know the details on that one too. Speaking of NXT, we've got the ratings for Tuesday's edition of the show on the CW. Reportedly, there were many in AEW that were furious over the Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole botch on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. Plus, Alberto Del Rio attacks Vikingo's father on a Mexican talk show ahead of their major AAA Mega Championship match. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there, we're currently at 22,061 subscribers. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestle News universe. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. Speaking of that sidebar, you can see all upcoming watch-alongs and post-shows we've got here live on the channel. That includes AAA and WWE Worlds Collide, as well as WWE Money in the Bank, which will both be live next weekend. Now, let's get into a big topic of conversation over the last week or so, and that is WWE possibly counter-programming All Elite Wrestling, and it looks like it's set to continue. Now, we've now got more details on the WWE NXT Great American Bash, because the WWE ticket website is now listing WWE NXT The Great American Bash on July 12th with a 2:30 p.m. Eastern start time. That indicates that the live show will indeed begin at 3 p.m. Eastern start time as well. Now, WWE lists start times on their ticket websites as 30 minutes prior to the show going on the air to ensure the fans are in their seats when the show begins. Now, Trick Williams, Obafemi, Stephanie Vaquer, and Sol Ruka are currently advertised for the event, but the card, of course, as always, is subject to change. No matches as of right now at the time of recording this video have been officially announced. But what gets really interesting about this, of course, is AEW All In Texas will also be held on July 12th at Globe Life Field in Texas with a start time of, you guessed it, 3 p.m. Eastern. That would mean the AEW All In Texas, AEW's biggest show of the year, the first ever stadium show they've done in the United States, will be beginning at the exact same time as WWE NXT's The Great American Bash from center stage in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, WWE NXT The Great American Bash will be the first of 3 events to be held in Atlanta, Georgia over the July 12th weekend. WWE Saturday Night's main event will take place on Saturday night, while WWE Evolution 2 will also be held on July 13th. Now, as far as the reasons for WWE possibly looking to counter-program AEW, well, there's some interesting reports about this too. Of course, it's been known for many months that WWE were planning to run an edition of Saturday Night's main event on July 12th, the same day as AEW's All In Texas event, which prompted AEW to move the start time of their show to the afternoon. However, WWE has since announced WWE NXT's Great American Bash on July 12th as well, meaning that show indeed, as we just spoke about, will go head-to-head with All In Texas, while the second ever Evolution pay-per-view will take place the day after on July 13th. Despite claiming AEW to be a secondary promotion who they don't need to worry about, WWE seemingly have gone out of their way to consistently meddle with AEW's upcoming schedule, counter-programming them at every single opportunity. Dave Meltzer, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, explained that the initial decision to run Saturday Night's main event on July 12 was simply to hurt AEW as much as possible, with recent editions of the show causing damage to AEW Collision TV ratings whenever that show has gone up against it, resulting in multiple cases of Collision being moved to a Thursday night instead. However, Meltzer did say that the trend of counter-programming, with the Battleground Premium Live event being the latest example, shows the public just how concerned WWE is with AEW, when in reality, they have no reason to be. As far as Saturday Night's main event on July 12th is concerned, WWE are planning to load up that show despite not running against All In Texas. The biggest rumor is that Goldberg's retirement match will happen as the event is in Atlanta, Georgia, that being Goldberg's hometown. And while not officially confirmed at the time of recording, having a retirement match for someone like Goldberg on the same day as All In Texas might be enough to convince people to not spend money on AEW's pay-per-view and watch WWE for free on NBC or Peacock instead. Now, as far as more counter-programming, well, it looks like we're going to get even more when it comes to this, because, of course, if you're paying attention to the news recently, AEW has just announced a residency at the former ECW arena, now known as the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, but it looks like WWE NXT is going to be going there 1 week earlier. All Elite Wrestling, as I mentioned, recently unveiled plans for a residency at Philadelphia's 2300 Arena, and it seems WWE NXT are heading to the same arena just 7 days prior. AEW/Ring of Honor are set to hold 7 events in the legendary former ECW arena in late August/early September, but reports have emerged that WWE NXT are set to return to the hallowed venue just 1 week prior in what looks to be the latest act in a counter-programming offensive by the sports entertainment giant. A recent edition of WrestleVotes Radio shed more light on the situation, saying, quote, "We are told WWE is once again trying to get a leg up on the, quote, competition, as they have scheduled an episode of NXT TV to take place at the 2300 Arena, the old home of ECW. This show is set for Tuesday, August 19th. Now, WWE, as I mentioned, have launched several offensive measures to sway business in their favor in markets AEW are running, such as the recent announcement of NXT's Great American Bash, which we now know will go head-to-head with AEW All In Texas on July 12th. A follow-up report from Brian Alvarez suggested WWE were set to counter-program AEW on at least 2 more occasions in 2025. Of course, we get any more details on this or future counter-programming attempts by WWE or possibly AEW, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, speaking about NXT, we have the ratings for Tuesday's episode on the CW. This past Tuesday, 2 massive title changes occurred on WWE NXT, with Ethan Page defeating Ricky Saints to become the NXT North American Champion, and Jacy Jayne shockingly dethroning Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's Championship. Despite the surprising results and NXT Battleground receiving a positive reception last Sunday, the developmental brand's viewership failed to improve. According to WrestleNomics, NXT averaged 650,000 viewers and posted a 0.14 in the key 18 to 49 demographic. When comparing both categories to the previous week, total viewership declined by 7%, though the 18 to 49 demo did increase, rising by 8%. In addition, Tuesday's broadcast was the lowest rating NXT has drawn since the April 1st edition of the show, with the program usually averaging a number closer to the 700,000 viewer mark. That said, NXT did face stiff sports competition in primetime this week, going up against both NBA and NHL playoff action. The NBA Eastern Conference final game between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers topped the night, averaging 5.910 million viewers on TNT. Additionally, the Western Conference final game between the Edmonton Oilers and Dallas Stars drew 1.521 million viewers and ranked 3rd in the 18 to 49 demo on cable. NXT's overall viewership has grown by 3% since last year, but the brand continues to lose viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic, being down in that category by 30% since May 2024. Hopefully, with the NBA and NHL playoffs coming to an end this June, NXT's total viewership will grow heading into the summer, with less sports competition airing during the same time slot. Now let's go to AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. There was a bit of a scary spot if you watched the broadcast regarding Adam Cole. In the recent episode of AEW Dynamite, TNT champion Adam Cole took on Kyle Fletcher in what should have been just a normal match. But over the course of the match, Fletcher would drop Adam Cole against the ring apron, but actually botch the move, putting Cole's well-being in danger. Naturally, considering that Cole has only recently begun his first ever title reign in AEW and come back from 2 major injuries, fans were outraged, but it seems like the locker room isn't happy either. According to Brian Alvarez during an episode of Wrestling Observer Live, his sources backstage in AEW claim that Fletcher likely has backstage heat. Quote, "There were a lot of people furious at Kyle Fletcher because, like, at the end of the day, whatever you want to do is whatever you guys agreed to do and everything like that. But Adam Cole has a history of head injuries," he pointed out. He continued by saying, quote, "He has had concussions and head injuries we know about, and he's had concussions and head injuries that haven't been public. There have been other times where Adam Cole hasn't been on television because he had a head injury and it just never came out," end quote. However, during the episode, Alvarez revealed that he immediately reached out to his sources after the match and claimed that despite how the botch looked, Cole wasn't injured. In fact, his source urged him to look at the footage in slow motion, where he saw that the banging sound heard during the move was actually Cole's elbow hitting the ring, and noted that it seemed like the TNT champion's head didn't even hit the ring at all. Now, as far as I mentioned, a bit of an update on all of this. This is what Alvarez said, quote, "He didn't hit his head, so that's good, but he did jack up his elbow," Alvarez claimed. The bigger question is, what the fuck is Kyle Fletcher thinking? Because literally, if he'd been 2 inches closer, he'd have killed the guy. Alvarez further criticized Fletcher's decision to go with an apron powerbomb and advised him just to not do moves like that, while criticizing the match's disqualification finish too. Dave Meltzer then weighed in. While agreeing with Alvarez about the match having a weak finish, he added that it's all likely to set up a bigger scale match between Cole and Fletcher. Quote, "If you do a finish like that and it goes nowhere, then you're just trying to, get anyone out of losing," he explained. "This one is very clear. It's building a program, so it's just step one." Of course, if we get any more details on Adam Cole's health or possible backstage heat on Kyle Fletcher for the move, we'll let you know, of course, in a future video. And finally, a big angle happened when it comes to AAA and a big upcoming AAA title match. Former WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, who currently wrestles under the name Alberto El Patron, is set to defend his AAA Mega Championship on May 31st, that being today, against El Hijo del Vikingo at AAA's television taping, with Del Rio hoping to make his 9th successful defense of his title. Now, to promote the event, the champion appeared on the Venga de la Regla morning show in Mexico to promote the upcoming match, when he was involved in a physical altercation that has taken social media by storm. Towards the end of the interview, King Vikingo, the father of El Hijo del Vikingo, appeared on the set to confront Del Rio, who then proceeded to viciously attack the father of his upcoming challenger, ripping the shirt from his back before storming off set after multiple crew members attempted to separate the two. King Vikingo's wife was also present for the attack as she ordered Del Rio, who had turned his attention to the crew members that tried to restrain him, and pleaded for him to stop attacking her husband. This has since been confirmed to be a worked angle to give Del Rio and Vikingo's match more heat heading into tonight, which, given the speed that the clip circulated on social media, seems to have worked. However, this may not matter at all because the result of the match may have already been spoiled, at least to anyone who was watching the May 26th episode of WWE Raw. Now, during the show, it was confirmed that Vikingo would be facing Chad Gable at the WWE AAA Worlds Collide event on June 7th, but the match graphics stated that the match would be for the AAA Mega Championship, despite Vikingo's match with Del Rio having not yet taken place. This was edited out of broadcast that aired on Netflix in Mexico, but the graphics spread online very quickly during the live episode of Raw. Now, as far as Del Rio's relationship with WWE, it looks like, again, this one's still very frosty. Since TKO's acquisition of Lucha Libre AAA, there has been a lot of speculation about whether or not WWE would bring back Alberto El Patron, Del Rio, especially after all of the controversies he was involved in since his final tenure in the promotion. Due to advertisements, it seems like El Patron will likely lose the AAA Mega Championship to Vikingo, but the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter says that things are not as frosty between Alberto and WWE as it might appear. The report cites sources friendly to Alberto El Patron who say Alberto will return to WWE eventually, but not at present. Additionally, he noted that El Patron did promotional work for a Mexican talk show where he garnered some heat for his match against Vikingo. Quote, "Every major Mexican media outlet covered it. It was all over social media, and both non-wrestling and non-sports media, as well as influencers, reported on it, and most did so thinking it was real," Meltzer wrote. When it came to the advertising for the WWE AAA Worlds Collide show, in the US, Vikingo is set to defend the AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable, but in Mexico, the match doesn't have a title stipulation. Meltzer claimed this was typical of territory days, but WWE was foolish while assuming that the news wouldn't make it to Mexico. Quote, "This does show that even though AAA hasn't purchased AAA yet, they are in control of at least the top booking and championship scene," Meltzer explained. Moving away from Alberto as champion is a change of AAA's plans for the title scene. Meltzer also says that Alberto is unlikely to be used by WWE in the early stages of the AAA crossover. However, former WWE and AAA broadcaster Hugo Savinovich has reportedly been pushing for WWE to use Alberto at Worlds Collide. Of course, if we get any more details on that, of course, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, as you can see right there. We're currently at 22,060 subscribers on that road to 25k. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding Wrestling WNU. In addition, you can become members of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click that or click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.